Father used to talk about sleigh riding down that street in the winter.
85th Street used to be the big street, we used to sleigh ride down, and then a half a block before Jamaica Avenue, they used to put all ashes there so you didn't get out into Jamaica Avenue. And I remember the sidewalk from way up in the hill where that clubhouse is now, the sidewalk used to be one complete sidewalk all the way down to Jamaica Avenue. We get on with the skates, or a wagon, no Park Lane South, none of the other streets there. There's one big solid sidewalk right straight down. And we used to go down there with the wagons or skates and had a good time. And I remember, like, we used to caddy up in the park. You get a big dollar caddy clubs around for 18 holes.
What about telephones?
Telephones, the first phone we had was Richmond Hill, it was a party line. Richmond Hill, 7444R. Yeah, and we'd pick it up, somebody else would be on it.
This might be a little later, but what about television?
Television, the first television was a little RCA set with a little thing about that. In fact, I bought a Troller, and that had a thing that was supposed to come out. It was a Spartan, and we were going to come out for had a thing where you could hook a television on. But come the war in 1940, 41, and that was the end of that. In fact, I put a lot of time in the service. I'm a volunteer. You know, they says to me, I had a lot of deals cooking in real estate. I had one piece of property on Rockaway Boulevard, which was in the that cyclone in 1895. I still have the store. And I bought that, and then I had my other deals, some other deals in the neighborhood, but I couldn't complete them because I had the army over my head, you know. So I went in 1941 to get my, I says to the guy up in the draft office, I says, can't you give me a definite date? He says, you want a definite date? I says, yes, volunteer. So I volunteered. So I had a V in front of my name. So I was volunteered to go into, I went in May 7th, 1941, and I says, I'll get my year over with, I'll be free and clear, but come to Pearl Harbor, December 7th, I remember Pearl Harbor Day very well. I was down in Fort Benning, Georgia. Anyway, I put 4 years, 5 months, and 25 days in the service. So I've seen it all. I've been all over the world. North Africa, my mama was kicking hell out of us over there, and he was a smart man, boy. In fact, him and Patton, they more or less trained together down in Fort Benning, Georgia. I knew Patton down there, the 2nd Armored Division.
John, today a lot of people would say there aren't enough theaters in the neighborhood.
I agree with him. Down City Line, you had the City Line movies, and they called the oil movies, and then now it's a shopping center, mall. In fact, St. Sylvester's Church, they started a movie called the Sheridan movies. It was going to corner Sheridan Avenue, Sheridan and Liberty Avenue. And that's where St. Sylvester's started their parish. I remember that.
Were there any games you played that are still being played today? There are children today that don't even know what stickball is.
Want a cat?
I don't even know what that is.
Well, you get a broomstick, and you made one piece of thing about this big was tape it. And you put it in, you whack it, and you whack it, and it would spin up, and then you hit the stick. Want a cat? Then you had your.
When did you do banking?
Banking? I didn't set foot in a bank till I was in my 20s. And that was the United National Bank.
Is it still there?
It's still there. It's not called the United National. They changed the bank. It was the Valley Bank. Now it's the Bank of New York.
What was crime like in those days?
Well, crime, we used to take care of the crime situation. What we used to do is, every now and then we'd have break-ins. And we knew the group that would break in. So we single out one guy, and every time something happened in the neighborhood, we got a hold of him and kicked hell out of him. And he went around to the other guys, lay off them guys, because we always get the one guy and kick hell out of him. And we never had no real problems. Got more problems today than you can shake a stick at.
And could you tell us about the people that came around as peddlers? Besides having the milkman deliver the milk, you had,
In fact, I still get my milk delivered to the door 2 days a week, on a Wednesday and a Saturday.
today,
Today, yeah. And I remember the milkman, then you had the iceman, you had the peddler. Dugan brothers come around with the horse and wagon.
and the knife sharpener,
Knife sharpener used to walk around. And then you had Crew. They had the bakery out here in Jamaica. Crew, and he had these electric trucks. They had electric trucks years ago. Ward Baking Company had electric trucks and everything like that. And these guys, so they think they're putting something new on the oil. There's nothing new. It's all something old that's reproduced.
What about these one-man
John?
bands during the
That's it.
Depression?
Well, they had to.
Oh, it's still recording.
They had to, like they stand on the corner, the Germans used to call them Bettelbubers. They have a cornet and a couple other instruments and a let's okay too.
John, thank you for sharing this with us.
You're welcome.
We appreciate
Yeah.
that.